The very first step to canning tomato juice is to actually make the juice. We usually plant extra tomatoes just to have an abundance coming out of the garden so that we can store the juice. We start by cutting up our tomatoes into large chunks and placing them in a sauce pot. We're going to place this on about a low to medium heat, stirring occasionally. As the tomatoes cook, you can see that they get softer and more liquidy. Once the tomatoes are mostly sauce with only small bits of pulp, it's time to turn them into the juice. This is my manual sieve or food mill that I use to separate the juice and the sauce from the tomato pulp. You could also use an electric juicer for this step. When you are left with mostly a dry pulp of seeds and skin, then you're ready to go to the next step, canning. Now that we have our tomato juice, it's time to can it in jars. I usually add some lemon juice or vinegar to make sure that the acidity is high enough. I bring my juice back to a low boil. While this is going on and the juice is heating up, I prep all my supplies. I get out my canning rings and a new box of lids. I also wash all of my jars and then I fill them with hot water to keep them warm. Once the juice has reached a boil, I turn the temperature down a little and begin to fill the jars. I'm using a large mouth funnel and a ladle to fill them all up just below the rings. Then I wipe the top clean and place a lid and a ring on each one. The jars are going to be really hot, so be careful. I fill a large canning pot with hot water and I place my jars in it with enough water to cover the tops. We're going to water bath them for about 40 minutes. You're going to want them on a low simmer. When the time is up, turn off the heat. As the jars start to cool in the water, you may hear the lids pop. That sound means that your jars have sealed and the top of the lid can no longer be pushed down. Some jars take 2 or 3 hours for that to happen, and that's a normal process. Once the jars are cool enough, remove them from the water and store them in a cool and dark space so that you can use them for cooking throughout the year.